welcome to the Better Together as One podcast and TV show. My name's Margaret Wallis-Duffy, and this show would just not be the same without my two co-hosts, Claire, Gavin, and Mr. Todd Miller. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I don't know, Todd, you did not get the memo, apparently. We're wearing this bright color. I'm sorry we didn't get you in the loop, but you're looking good as always.
You know, there's that old saying about being a fifth wheel. Someone didn't get the memo.
You know, it's really funny. Claire and I always laugh about how great minds think alike. We truly did not talk about this morning and just showed up on camera. So we welcome everyone the way they are here on Better Together as One. And today we're really excited because we have got a great show. And as always, we bring inspiring people to the table to talk about real stories and struggles, but being authentic and recognizing how we're better together as one. So we're really excited today to hop into a topic that's near and dear, certainly to my heart. And I know, Claire, you feel the same as well. And Todd, what I love about having you as a co-host, that you bring a man's perspective. And when we talk about body image and body positivity, I think often we focus on women. But that is not always fair because men too have their own body image issues. They may manifest differently and they may not talk about it with their buddies, but it's an important topic. So what better two people to bring on to talk about this? Leslie Ann Spicer is an incredible fascial stretch therapist. She's a personal trainer, an online wellness coach, happens to be a good friend and a colleague at Wallis for Wellness. We are so excited to have her share her story and her passion and purpose when it comes to helping people live their best life in terms of exercise, nutrition, and mindset. And next to her, also wearing red, which we didn't plan that. Whoop, whoop. Caterina Moda is an influencer, a model. She has 365,000 followers online, and in a world where we have social media and so much judgment, I am so excited to have both of you ladies on to talk about how we navigate these waters of the comparison game and making sure we have our own self-worth. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So let's hop right in because we've got lots to cover. Leslie, I know that you've been very candid online about your struggle when this pandemic started, about feeling down and mental health being a struggle. And here you are, a health and wellness coach and needing to inspire other people. Can you tell us a little about that experience? Because I'm sure there are many people that can relate to that. And then what you did to sort of help yourself, which has turned into helping a lot of other people.
Right. No, for sure. I'd love to share. So shortly before the whole pandemic went down, I was actually in New York City visiting my best friend, going to be celebrating my birthday. So there was a huge plan going on, and literally within a couple days of me getting there, everything kind of switched and changed. And we actually quarantined in her apartment until I could get a flight back home. So I had to cut my trip short. But going into that week, I was super pumped, super excited. I felt for the first time in 5 years since being out on my own that my business was kind of where I wanted it to be in terms of being busy. My roster was full. I was coming up with different ways to help more people because just physically the time I couldn't dedicate any more to clients. So I was going in feeling really good that week. And when everything started to shut down and then, businesses were getting shut down, the social distancing went from, you can be in a group of 500 to nobody. So it was that whole thing of feeling high and then very low in a matter of 48 hours, literally. And, my best friend that was with me, at the time I was just trying to keep positive and she was like, everything's going to be okay. But inside I was just like, what is going to happen? So I obviously booked a flight, first flight I could get out. It was a very eerie experience driving through Times Square with nobody on the streets. The airport was empty. My plane had 10 of us in it. So it was very surreal. I felt like I was in a movie. I was like getting home, like I was stranded somewhere and I was getting home and not knowing kind of what I was walking into, and having to do the 14-day quarantine right away. And, I've been really blessed with some great friends and clients who, I got home and had groceries and all that stuff. So I was very thankful for that. But the first 2 weeks and going into the third week, it was a lot of self-reflection and being like, holy crap, what am I going to do? Because I'm not going to be making any income. I don't know
Right.
for how long. So, like everybody, I went through the grieving process of what was happening. And, from my past and my past experiences, 5 years ago, I probably would be in a different spot right now. But I think because of the work that I've done with myself and the mindset work like you talked about earlier, instead of it lasting, months and weeks of feeling depressed and not knowing what to do, I kind of by that third week, I was like, okay, I've got to get out of this because I don't like how my mindset is. My nutrition was brutal. My alcohol intake was higher, which was not normal for me during the week. And just feeling very isolated and alone. Being an extroverted person and being with clients all the time and always having plans on the weekends and then having nobody. It was literally in my apartment, just like quiet and just like, what am I going to do? So then I was like, okay, I got to get myself out of it. And the one thing that I know what motivates me is being accountable to others. And I think that's why I love what I do, because when I see my clients doing, the work, it motivates me even more. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start a 4-week group. I started it as a plant-based. Let's do a 4-week plant-based. I've always wanted to do that. There's heart disease in my family. So I've always wanted to kind of go into that direction and, had the time to cook and try new recipes. And right away, I think I got like 30 people just based on my clients and people on Facebook that kind of saw what I was doing. And then gradually over the weeks, I saw a transformation in myself, really focusing on the nutrition. And I had some physical and mental changes happen. And then after that 4 weeks, I was like seeing all the comments and all the support that everybody in the group was giving. And I was like, I think I need to keep this group going, because it's not just about 4 weeks. It's about, this is a life process, a life transformation for all of us. Right. So it turned into the plant-based group to nutrition for life kind of thing, but then also incorporating the group, the mindset work, and the movement for anybody that wants to, get into the exercise portion of that as well.
I think your story is, I think, thanks for being so authentic and real. And I know that there are going to be other people that are listening to this at home and perhaps feeling the same way. What I love about what you've done, though, is that you've been better together as one. You've brought people along to elevate them too. And that's what this show is all about. And I want to thank you for doing that. And now, as of this morning, right before this podcast was recorded, you now have 100 people in that group and counting, and you're making a difference and an impact. So thank you for that. We're going to take a quick break. We've got lots more to talk about here. So we're going to be back with Caterina Moda and Leslie. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Better Together as One. I'm Todd Miller, along with my co-hosts Claire Gavin and Margaret Wallis-Duffy. Joining us today are wonderful guests Leslie Spicer and Caterina Moda. Caterina, thank you for being on the show today. We're so thrilled to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So you are a model / influencer. And I have to say that there are a lot of negative influences that are happening right now, but you are a beacon of light right now in a very dark time. What really started your journey to be a positive role model?
Well, to be honest, I started Caterina Moda because I love to dress up. I love fashion. And I just wanted to take pictures. I'd go out with my friends and we'd strike a pose and, we just got good at it. And then we just started, I started posting photos, and I didn't really start it to be that positive beacon. Like you said, I just wanted to share my outfits with people and my love for fashion. That's how it really started. It grew. It grew into something. I had no idea it would grow to this magnitude, but it did grow. And then I started receiving messages from women and young girls telling me that they want to be like me, that they love my style, they wish they had my body, and just a lot of positive feedback from women. And then I started thinking about my captions. And it's not just about throwing out a beautiful photo, but there should be a positive message attached to that. And if you've noticed on my page, Caterina Moda, I just try to be positive. All my messages are positive. And it's just about sharing sharing my life with you and sharing my joy of just being me. You know what I mean?
You know what? I love that. I love that you're bringing, and this is, I think, so important, especially, you know, Claire and I are mothers of young girls. And when there's so much opportunity to look at your feed and compare yourself to everyone else, in this home, in our home, we've always tried to encourage being just authentic, being healthy and being authentic. That's what I love about what you're doing, is that you are sharing your authenticity in a very positive way. I also know that there is a very special thing about you, because there's a lot of special things, but you are a boxer.
No. I'm a boxing coach. I will never take away all the hard work that boxers go through.
Okay.
So I am a boxing coach.
Well, you know what? Either way, I'm trying to do a boxing program right now. It is a test of my brain, my physical literacy. As I age, I mean, all of this stuff, the movement, it is challenging. And Todd Miller, we read that how many minutes of skipping can this amazing woman do?
Fess up. How many? I think I know. Was it 36 or something insane like that?
36 minutes of skipping. Now, come on, Caterina. Are you doing that in the quarantine?
No, not in the quarantine.
Okay, good. I feel better about myself now.
I've taken a break during quarantine, but yes, I did. We work out in rounds. So in a boxing round is 3 minutes, and I would do 12 rounds of skipping. And there were many instances that really fit, you know, muscle heads kind of guys come up to me and fist pump me, because they were surprised to see a bigger girl doing that kind of workout. And they disclosed that they couldn't do stuff like that. So I was, you know, proud of myself.
Well, you know, and you should be, but I think the bigger message here, which, you know, Claire and I, we were talking about this when we were discussing having Caterina on the show. As therapists, we often see people in our clinics, or the world and society will see a certain size and attach that someone is healthy. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case. And I'm sure, Leslie, you can speak to that. I know you work with a lot of dancers. What I love about that is that it is really a positive message to send out there, that whatever body that you are in, that we need to focus on being mentally and physically well. And movement is critical within that. Leslie, do you see this with your dancers? How important is the work that you're doing with these young girls and their body image when it comes to, you know, comparing themselves and being in the field of like dance?
Right. No, I think it's really important for them to see, you know, people like Caterina and myself. You know, I don't have the quote unquote perfect body either, but I consider myself pretty fit as well. And just driving home the message with these girls that, and I've seen it especially the last 4 weeks with, you know, some of the seniors from the dance studio I work with in Brockville have reached out to me and said, I want to feel better, because they, you know, you talk about just feel, you know, you talk about that you feel better. You never talk about your weight, and you never talk about, you know, what size you are and all that stuff. They're like, we just love that you feel like, it looks like you feel good, and I want to feel good. And especially in this time, you know, they're all so depressed and sad. This is their competition season right now, and they're not able to do that. So, you know, I was, you know, my thing was pumping them up, being like, okay, guys, this is not going to last forever. So when you guys are back in action, I want you guys to be at the top, not at the back, because you haven't, you know, been doing anything. So it kind of started like that. And now I have, you know, even yesterday I had another dancer, you know, she's seeing 2 of my girls that have been posting stuff on Facebook. But again, just talking about how they're feeling more motivated, and how they feel more confident in themselves, and, you know, are so happy that, you know, I'm there to help them and guide them and, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, that's one really good positive that I think has come out of all this, you know, and something that was selfishly supposed to help me for 4 weeks has kind of turned into something a little bit bigger. And especially for these girls, because I know what they go through. I know when they're in that environment, the comments that are made about their size, even from the people that are closest to them, right?
Yeah.
So they need to find that community or that support of people that are saying, no, it's okay, be you, and as long as you feel good, you feel healthy, you're fine, right? And all those other things will come.
Yeah. I just want to jump in really quickly because I admire both of you. I know Leslie and Caterina. I have seen your Instagram page and I love it. It's very classy. So well done. For a mother, like Margaret said, I have a 20-year-old and I have a 17-year-old, and they're always on their phones. And so I just wanted to ask you, what would you tell the younger generation when they're scrolling through Instagram? What would be your words of advice?
Ooh, that's
I mean, that's the whole thing, but
yeah. You spend your whole youth trying to fit in, and then you spend your whole adult life trying to stand out. So it's like, I know they're stuck in the social media, but I feel like we were raised differently than how children or youth are raised now.
Yeah.
And I feel like they may be better prepared to face, let's say, adversity, bullying, just because of social media and because of the internet. I think they're more aware. I'm just thinking about, like, because I'm also an educator and I'm a ECE and I work with kindergarten students, and it's a constant reiterating positivity all day long. One time actually, a little boy called a little girl fat, and they came and told me, and I walked over and I said, and okay, my students love me, first of all, because like I'm their teacher, so they think that I'm the best. And I go, I'm fat, don't you love me? And their eyes just bulged out of their face. And I don't think they were ready for that. They didn't understand what I was getting at.
It starts at a young age. I agree. Yeah. And I think it's refreshing to see as they're growing older that you can really be somebody special, and no matter what your size is. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We never have enough time on the show. It's always good to have guests like Leslie and Caterina. I hope both of you will come back again. I know you've got so much to share. I think it is so important now more than ever that we share positivity, that we come together, and between your group, Leslie, that you're coaching people one-on-one. I mean, Claire and I are part of that, and you, Caterina, reaching out to thousands online in a positive way. Thank you for being a positive role model right now, and a place for people to come better together.
Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Better Together as One. So we're just going to talk a little bit about turning our passion into business and how they went ahead and did that. So Leslie, if you want to just talk to us really briefly about how you went from your love, from what you were doing, to taking it online.
Yeah, definitely. So before the whole pandemic situation, I would say about 90% of my clients were face-to-face, so in either in clinic or going to their homes and doing personal training. But like I mentioned before, when things shifted and healthcare workers like myself, practitioners, can't be with people, I had to kind of get creative and reinvent myself and be like, okay, so how can I do this? I've always wanted to convert more online, to create more freedom for myself, but I just, I kept myself in that box. And what this situation has made me do is kind of go outside my comfort zone. So I currently now have two kind of online businesses that I'm doing. So I have the online health and wellness, where I incorporate my fascial stretch therapy, nutrition, mindset work, and then depending on the clients, I focus on different areas with them. Also, the life stretch has been a huge add-on. So I want to shout out the Stretch Twin Institute for offering an online course where I can use the fascial stretch now in a class setting or a guided stretch setting. So that has really, really helped out. But the other part is, like Caterina, I love fashion too, primarily activewear, because I live in it. I've always been in a gym. I've always been an athlete. I've loved, I love being like in joggers. I love wearing leggings and tanks and all that stuff. So I've always wanted to as well partner up with a clothing line that kind of suited that part of my business as well. And about a year ago, a good friend of mine introduced me to Zaya. And it's been awesome ever since. So I've been really dialing in on that because, again, it's all online. It's an online virtual store. Like
Love
Caterina, I'm learning to take pictures now. So all these little skills that I didn't do before, now I'm like watching Caterina and her, like, oh, how's she doing that? Like, how am I going to do that?
Call me.
And just
give a few tips later.
There we go.
What'd you say?
Amazing.
I
So
said, call
Caterina,
me,
you.
few tips.
Okay.
I'll call you too, actually. Yeah, well, I'll call you. So Caterina,
Yeah,
you
so-
as well. Talk to us. Sorry, Leslie, I'm just going to skip over to Caterina
Okay.
because I think you've got a good point with the photos. So talk to us about you going from taking photos to this business. This is now an incredible business. How does this come to be?
I started my Instagram page in 2013, and it is 2020, and it's taken 7 years to get to where I'm at right now.
Nice.
And it's just about being consistent. Be consistent, be passionate. You have to love what you're doing in order for it to be successful. I used to work for a great famous tailor, Lou Miles, in Toronto, and he would always say, do what you love and the money will come. And not that that was my focus. Like, I never really focused on the money coming. I just did what I loved, and it just naturally happened. So as my numbers grew, I would contact brands, and brands would contact me. And like at first, they would send me free product, and I would shoot it and promote them. And again, as my numbers grew, the product came with a fee. So I have rates for posts and for videos or Insta stories. Yeah, and it's just great to know that I'm out there and little girls are seeing me happy, being me, and living
100%.
me.
Yeah, I think you're a
Right.
great role model. Exactly. Amazing. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Caterina, and also thank you for being real about the fact that it takes time, but to never give up. When you have a
Right.
passion and a purpose and you love what you're doing, be consistent, be willing to do the work, and stay the course, because dreams do come true. So I want to thank both of you for coming on the show. It's always great to have people like you to inspire others to live their best life. So on behalf of our Better Together as One crew and all of you back in the control room at TV Kojiko, we are so happy to bring podcasts like this to all of you. So on behalf of Better Together as One, until next time, be well.